Hello and welcome to Worldwide People's Championships. We're in week 19. This is the qualifying game for O2000 to see who plays Voodoo. Of course, we're going to have 2 rounds. First one will be on Tag Craftiest Maximus between Tress 4. It's actually Congreve, better known as Congreve, going Cybern. And he's going to be taking on Lucian, who's also going Cybern, so a Cybern on Cybern battle on a map that's quite difficult to play, very spread out, but huge amount of mass that you must get. There's 4 mass ejectors next to your initial position, but that's really not enough for what you want to do. And I think as this game continues, we'll see how the eco of these 2 players really explodes. So a few things I want to mention before this really gets on the way. Of course, there was some really nice casts by some Australian guy, some great voice acting, making fun of everybody that he can possibly make fun of. It's Compilation Nation. You should definitely check out those casts for a nice laugh. What else? Some interesting announcements from the pilot in the announcement section on FAF. Definitely check that out. It's going to have significant changes coming to FAF and Galactic Wars. And as this is going on, second air from Lucian. Of course, Compilation Nation really made this make this all a lot more laughable, but that's big thanks to him. But second air from both players, so we should see who wins this initial air fight, which of course gives intelligence. And intelligence is so critical, both going first. Interceptor, it seems. This map, of course, could be played as a 2v2, so very similar expansions. It's a little narrower vertically, so usually players go down and up with the ACUs, try to grab these spots and then attack across. And a lot of different choke points going in this horizontal direction. You never want to neglect air. And here comes a bomber actually from Lucian up top. Let's see what that does. Very nice. We can see the 2 ecos. It appears that Congreve is pulling away a little bit, but it's still very close. Let's see if this bomber from Lucian is looking for any NGs he can take out. Great bomb. It's going to deny a couple mass extractors, and Interceptor is on the case. And just in time, the Probo is going to get some more kills. There's a bomber, also 4 kills. I missed this from Congreve. It's still alive, but it looks like not for long. So it was a very important bomb there from Lucian. It's going to deny a couple naval expansions, but already good naval expansions for both players here on bottom and top, and a bit of an air fight. It's going to be extremely close, but I think Lucian will win it because this is over his base. Also, Lucian a little quicker on the ACU, grabbing this expansion. Meanwhile, Congreve actually taking his ACU directly through the middle. This is a little more unusual on this map. Also, very quick engineer up onto this ledge. In case people are wondering what this looks like, this is nice to grab this, although artillery can shoot up. And good looking forces. A lot more Tech 1 land spam coming, so not too much Tech into, actually Tech 2. So Tech 2 versus spam here, Lucian versus Congreve, exactly 47 mass for both players. Transport, of course, transport is very important. These islands, 6 mass extractors just sitting that you can get with transports. And here, very important attack. If these Mante can take out this factory, it'll be a big loss for Lucian. More units on the way. It looks like this top corner will be secured for Congreve. Also, good looking raider, and now an anti-air turret, so very good looking base up on this ledge. Meanwhile, the Tech 2 land factory of Lucian under heavy assault from Congreve, although he has to be very careful not to be caught in the middle of enemy territory. But a lot of aggression here from Congreve, just running across the map directly at Lucian's base, who Lucian is going to have to get a new base going here. He's also got some Navy, some Tech 1 Navy, but it's a little too much for a single ACU to break through Tech 1 point defenses will deny. But meanwhile, most of the land here is completely taken over by Congreve's Tech 1 land unit. So far the Tech 1 land spam did a much better job than the Tech 2 of Lushan, although some hoplites are now on the field, on the case. And of course Navy is going to be very critical on this map. This map, extremely frustrating to play, but you never want to neglect Navy, air, or land. And so far, the biggest thing has been land for Congreve. And also, of course, this ACU is just absolutely crazy, capturing mass extractors in the enemy ocean. If there's a submarine, which is almost done here for Lushan, it'll force Congreve's ACU out, and he'll be trapped. I'm not sure what his plan is about that, but he's boldly going toward the Navy, because that's going to be a lot of Tech 2. Although here comes the Tech 1 force. Lushan needs to micro his hoplites. He is. And he's actually got some stealth here. So 4 hoplites with stealth is an absolutely deadly combination. Congreve, meanwhile, taking the time to grab those expansions, as well as Lushan has grabbed one of them. Also Hydra up on top. It looks like this transport, after it's finished its job, will be taken out by Lushan. And here comes the Tech 2. Congreve here causing more problems. Not really a full rate of 1 submarine, it seems. And bringing in reinforcements, Tech 1 on land to where his ACU is. So this is very secure now for Lushan. He's been able to secure his main base. He's going Tech 2 power, T2PD, and a pretty big Tech 2 land spam. These hoplites now all over the place. So Lushan now beginning to get a nice foothold on land, although huge amounts of this map still unclaimed for either player. And on Navy, a lot of expansion, and this is pretty amazing. Why is there so much more mass for Congreve? I mean, he's got really good mass. Let's see how many mass. 36 Tech 1 and 2 Tech 2s, while Lushan is sitting on 17. So double the Tech 1 mass extractors for Congreve. And I think that's really the fact that naval is so good, and both naval and land has been completely dominated by Congreve so far. Still, this is a good looking force from Lushan, and is now pushing with his ACU. Tech 2 versus Tech 1, he has a chance to make some progress. And actually, here Congreve next to a Lushan submarine is just walking. He decided not to come out on land. And there's still a lot of unclaimed mass extractors. This is what happens on this map. Map control really translates heavily into economy. 11 kills for Lushan's ACU. Meanwhile, his Tech 2 force here under a bit of fire. Congreve about half health, 6,000 health. Lushan's submarine keeps on taking it down, but here comes another sub from Congreve that will take care of the problem. And now still Tech 2 land for Lushan. I think with a couple more units, Lushan will be able to take this whole top part of the map, and needs to do it fast, because this eco advantage for Congreve really building up. There's also naval problems here up on top for Lushan, and also expanding engineers for Congreve. He's really in a position to take everything in the water. Only a single naval factory working for Lushan, and we gotta say that's probably because of Congreve's ACU. That all that disruptive maneuvers. Lushan now together with his Tech 2 forces, some nice overcharges, 21 kills, taking on a pretty large Tech 1 forces. Also doesn't really want to go into the water. Some torpedo launchers here for Congreve. So far, Lushan, the number 2 ranked global player, having some problems against about top 20 player Tress. So both players extremely good, but Lushan significantly higher global rating. So excellent play from Congreve. And of course, there will still be round 2 here. That's going to play the winner of Crazed and Rock, which should be excellent. So far, Lushan 38 kills. Great work with ACU, and now finally the Tech 2 is beginning to make some progress up on top. Lushan needs to get that mass as soon as possible. Still having problems against his Tech 1 force, actually losing Tech 2 mass extractors. I'm not sure if those were Tech 2, but this is a Tech 2 getting shot by some mobile missile launchers. Some Tech 2 land now for Congreve as well. Some Tech 2 point defenses. Meanwhile, Congreve's just sitting in the water. Lushan getting an upgrade in a very dangerous position. Let's see how that works out. And somehow Lushan, not pushing ahead with his tech to force, there's really nothing for that tech to force to do except to go and take map control. There's still Tech 1 submarines trying to fight off superior naval force from Congreve. Lushan trying to do some maneuver around the top. He's nearly done with his upgrade. But now Lushan's force really no longer that superior, if superior at all. There's numbers for Congreve. And a lot of Tech 2 mask tractors now for Congreve. He's really been running away with the economy, and now the Tech 1 force is putting Lushan in danger of losing Navy completely. And once he does that, Tech 2 Navy is going to be extremely potent. We're already seeing some cruisers coming out, also Tech 2 mask tractors in the water. Going to be very nice. Looks like it's the gun for Lushan. And Lushan now facing Tech 2 point defenses. So this is not something that he can break through with the force that he has now. 44 kills for Lushan. Lushan now walking into a bunch of lasers. He is going to die. Okay, so Lushan just threw away the game here. I mean, he was already pretty much outgunned. He completely lost Navy. Was way behind on eco and got a little too close to these lasers. Probably didn't expect this to be such a big defensive position for Congreve. So uncharacteristic for Lushan. Great play from Congreve though, very well played. Ran up with his ACU, put a lot of pressure on Lushan early, and he gets to go on to play either Crazed or Rock. Hello and welcome to round 2. This one's between Crazed and Congreve. Unfortunately, the game between Crazed and Tag Rock did not happen. I believe Rock just couldn't make it for whatever reason, but hopefully signed it up for week 20. Still gotta pick the maps for that. Pick those shortly. But of course, Crazed versus Congreve is also a great battle. Here we got open waters, the flooded version of open palms. I think one map that's very much underplayed currently, one of the better water maps. And once again, we got a Cybern on Cybern affair. One thing to notice, of course, the new patch has some really nice buffs to Cybern, especially for Navy. Now, destroyers and frigates have much better anti-air. May or may not play a role in this game. Of course, Congreve just coming off a great victory against Lushan. Any victory against Lushan is something to cherish. I know I never got one, but Congreve definitely has. He's now playing against another one of the top 10 players, Crazed, who's going for his third attempt to play Voodoo. But so far, whenever he played in any qualifiers, Crazed was always coming out on top. But then once he got to Voodoo, he kind of threw those games away. And Congreve has played a couple qualifiers, but hasn't been able to actually get to the final. See if he's able to do that this time. Second air was Siren, pretty big power spam, a lot of reclaim on this map. And it's always a dilemma what to do on this when we get such large bodies of mass here. You definitely want to grab one of the sides that has by far the most mask tractors, the most secure. The middle is a nice bonus, but it's very difficult to hold on to. So if you can hold your base and attempt to grab both of the sides, that may be a better option. But having one of the sides and the middle plus your initial base is definitely a big advantage. And now it looks like Crazed is definitely going to the middle with his ACU. I remember when this map was on rank ladder, had a couple of nice games against Funkov. He would always beat me, but he would always go a very quick Navy, and was playing with UEF, and that frigate with UEF was excellent. You could put it, deny the Navy, had nice anti-air, and would give you very nice intel. Of course, it's also very important to know what's coming to the island, and he would always go to the middle with ACU and then grab one of the sides. Played excellent. Funkov actually one player would love to see in this tourney, but I believe he works Saturdays. And in case people are confused, this is when this tourney is primarily played, is Saturday morning for United States and evening for Europe. And looks like early on, Crazed taking over air control here. It's very nice. Yeah, pretty big air. He's got now 4 engineers, and here comes the transport. Transports is critical. That's really the fastest way to grab the sides. And here's the transport for Congreve. If he loses that transport, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And he does. That's a huge loss. So Crazed getting an early excellent victory. Looks like he's also going to get a victory here in the middle. He's going to get a land factory. This engineer has been scouted. It will be found out. The ACU will take care of it. Nothing really going right for Congreve yet. Congreve going with a bomber to the left. That's exactly where the transport for Crazed is, but Crazed is coming with a big air force, try to secure this area, and he will. Meanwhile, Congreve is going to take the other side. Congreve is getting the second transport, probably is going to try to... Oh, and this engineer, this is very important, engineer was able to walk on water. It's a very early NG. So Congreve is going to play for both sides, but given air control, the drop from Crazed is going to make 2 stops. And he's going to try to get more build capacity. It's going to be 2 engineers versus 1 in this bottom corner. Meanwhile, on top, Congreve will take... yeah, Congreve is definitely taking the top. He's going to have a successful drop plus the ACU. There is Navy for Congreve that Crazed doesn't have. And here, Congreve is going to take out that transport. Very nice. Of course, now with this Air Force from Crazed, he is going to scout. So this is what we've seen. Superior Air Force so far for Crazed. He's got a lot more intel, which has allowed him to get some victories. But it looks like Crazed completely neglecting the top. He is playing for the middle and the bottom, and he should be able to win it. And it's just a single factory here versus nearly 2 now. And that's the difference in build capacity. If it's going to be victory for Congreve or for Crazed, unless Congreve can do something about it. And now Crazed. One thing about Crazed, of course, is a very complete player, extremely good on settings. And once players play very good, get very good on settings sides, which Crazed is very good, they're going to be very difficult to beat in terms of Navy. So something like going first torpedo launcher, that does allow you to go into Navy a little later, so get a little better eco and then go Navy instead of rushing a very expensive factory and then a whole bunch of units. But it looks like both players already have torpedo launchers. So here, coming up minute 9, we've seen most of the map being taken, and this is what we've seen. ACU to middle so far is the advantage for Crazed. Air control and ACU to middle definitely have paid off. We do see some Tech 2 mask tractors. Second one going up for Congreve. Pretty big Air Force. More naval plant for Congreve. Still Tech 1 power spam. Pretty big Tech 1 power spam as well for Crazed, but Crazed now with Tech 2 air and a couple of gunships. And of course gunships with air control on this map. Any spread out map, gunships are going to be absolutely deadly, and especially against a faction like Cybern or UEF, who do not have floating Tech 2 flak. And Tech 2 flak really the only real counter from land against gunships. Of course, cruisers and Tech 3 are also excellent counters. So those gunships from Crazed are going to be extremely deadly. Looking at our power and mass, it appears Crazed is slightly ahead in both power and mass. And Crazed going straight in here with those gunships. He's going to attempt to take air control. That may be a mistake. If he loses air, those gunships are going to be a lot less powerful. And it looks like this was the worst way to use his Air Force for Crazed. He's just thrown away all those gunships. They did kill a couple engineers. They do have a nice splash on them, but definitely not worth it. I think if he would have attacked something up on top, although there is a lot of Tech 1 flak for Congreve anticipating problems. And actually Congreve here with nice Tech 1 submarines spread out. He is going to try to deny any naval production except at this main base, which has been pretty minimal for Crazed. And still no Tech 2 air for Congreve. You might see already Tech 2 power. So in terms of power, Crazed really running away. He's got nearly double, which will allow him to spam a lot more air. But Tech 2 Navy now, and Tech 2 submarines from Congreve. Tech 2 subs, of course, stealth from Cybern. Extremely deadly against any Tech 1. And Crazed now with stealth here. He's got Tech 2 ACU, and that's one good thing about taking the middle. you can get, once you get Tech 2 in the middle, those cruise missiles will hit many different targets. For example, this Tech 2 Naval Factory, excellent target. This Tech 2 Power, another excellent target. And on any of those Tech 2 mass extractors. So many good targets for Crazed. Those should be spotted, however. And here Congreve attempting to really take over air control. He will spot this, oh, this is Tech 2 Flak and a shield. Not where you want to fly anymore. Very secure in the middle. And of course, Tech 1 submarines versus torpedo launchers, that's not going to be very effective. This is where this Tech 1 sub doing a great job. This is what they're really good at. Denying engineers trying to build a naval factory. But so far, Congreve choosing to go with big Tech 2 stealth submarine spam. A very quick Tech 2 Navy from Crazed. He's really using his superior mass here, because that's what you need to make a Navy. Compilation Nation, thank you for really making me feel silly talking about this game, but really glad you made that video. Hoping you make more, because that's the strategy. But it really paints the picture of how this game is really much more difficult to understand than other games, because what you see on the field, this was a nice cruise missile, actually killed the production and did some damage. And here comes the TMD. Those cruise missiles doing a great job from Crazed. It really shows that's what's on the surface, what's seen in this game. Very difficult to appreciate unless you've played it and understand all the costs, because it's the battle is really in the economy. It's not like multiplayer Mortal Kombat like most other RTSs, or multi-unit Mortal Kombat. So we're gonna see multiple submarines versus multiple destroyers now for Crazed. And Crazed now looking to really run away with his eco. He's got so many Tech 2 mass extractors. Something to look at here. Minute 16. He's got 18 Tech 2 mass extractors. That's pretty ridiculous. Versus only 10 for Congreve. And so far it seemed like that first move to the middle has been the better strategy. Congreve losing that air, losing that transport, wasn't able to really make a challenge. That's what you can do if somebody goes to the middle. You can take both sides and really make them pay for it. But that early air push from Crazed really denied that. And here we're gonna see Tech 2 versus Tech 1, but that's so many frigates. They're gonna probably hide behind these torpedo launchers. As long as these Tech 1s, yeah. As long as these submarines stay away from those torpedo launchers, they're really in no danger. Except, of course, for the destroyer that came in. That's an excellent unit against Tech 2 or any submarines. So far, cruise missile launchers, 3 more missiles coming up on the 4th. Already 2 kills. Might as well start sniping off other units. This is pretty secure though for Congreve. Congreve is just in a big TMD spam, and of course each one of those costs 280 mass. So if you build enough of them, it really costs a lot of money to cover your entire base with TMD. So this unit right here really forcing Congreve to spend a lot of eco. But it looks like finally this Navy from Congreve might be able to put pressure on the middle. And that's the thing about middle. Once Tech 2 Navy comes out, it makes it much more difficult to hold on to. Of course, Crazed is going to try to move in and attempt to deny this, and he's got big numbers. And of course, the typical thing, throw your Tech 1 in. Try to get him to spot all the units. Tech 1 Navy following up with Cybern, using the range, picking off all the most expensive units. This is really standard procedure. This isn't the case where you got to come in, take out those destroyers with them Tech 2 air, And it looks pretty bad now for Congreve. Gray's just running him over. And now Congreve complaining that you don't need cruisers for air defense, and that's something to see here. Absolutely no air for Crazy, just walked in. And the Tech 2 air from Congreve really was ineffectual here. Not really sure why there's a cruiser being built, but a total disaster for Congreve. Yeah, now it's looking really bad. It looks like Crazed. Well, still a lot of map left for Congreve. So unless Crazed, oh, he's working on a chicken bot now. Not chicken, sorry, a spider. Crazed is going to be the player to play Voodoo. So the third final coming up between Voodoo and Crazed. And Crazed really showed that he is one player who can beat Voodoo. So I'm really looking forward to that game. Hopefully somebody can cast that. Big thanks to any caster who casts games from Worldwide People's Championships. Hopefully Guile can do the 2v2 over 1700. We had a great game between Don Caputos and the XPX clan. We see some futile attempts from Congreve to do something about that navy, but this was really quite one-sided. I think shown the ACU to the middle, really the standard strong early air ACU to mid. That's what you got to do on this map, because those 6 mass extractors are such a huge mass advantage. And looks like the spider is nearly complete. Also, I think Zayfadex has casted the U2000 final, which has basically become an ATSI versus Yes Shepherd affair. But they are pretty evenly matched. Excellent play from them. If you haven't seen last week's, those are pretty nice matches. I haven't seen this week's, but Zayfadex should be uploading that soon. Definitely check that out. U1700, hopefully Zayfadex plays his final against Tempest, because that's his second week of not defending, which means he will lose the title. Which is quite unfortunate because he's been in such a long streak. So hopefully they play this week. So, yeah, that's not the best situation. And, yeah, here's the remnants of Congreve's Navy. The spider's just going to walk in and put an end to this game. Some artillery from Congreve. Some Tech 2 drops coming up as well for Crazed. Really one of my favorite maps. People should play this more often. It looks like Congreve realizing there's a spider. Calling it GG. Hopefully people enjoyed this one and looking forward to the final. And of course also T. Pikkonen, who's been the champion from last week. The R4 Sperdan is the challenger from this week, so hopefully they can play. Otherwise, yeah, they can play next week. So U1200 and U1700 finals still need to happen. So hopefully people enjoyed the Worldwide People's Championships.